Welcome to another quick software tutorial. In this one I will get an opportunity to show you a new script for this thing. Now this situation here, I had an interesting one where we filmed this lovely little scene or shot, and we did the Spanish one and then we did the English one, and then we forgot to change the sign up there. So we can't go back and do it, so we now get a sign after the fact, and you can easily just paste that sign on there, except for the fact that the character is going to go right on top of the sign, which is not going to be very helpful. As you will be able to see there, it's a problem. So normally you can just paste that on top until you get to about here. Then to a certain degree you could rotoscope using Blender or something, but then it gets extremely complicated back here and becomes a total nightmare around here of trying to rotoscope on that. So in this case it is a lot quicker, in my opinion, to go do a frame by frame touch up, and just as we've done with Gimp in the past, but with a script that will help us to export a lot quicker, which is something I'd like to show you. So what I have done, I've saved off an image sequence of the shot, and I've opened up Blender 2.69 I think it is at the moment, and in the movie clip editor I have loaded in this shot sequence there. Now from 1 right through to 340 I can just do a straight paste of that sign there. There's the old one. If I go to the node editor, you can see here I have set it up with the movie clip there, a mixer, the image of the sign to paste on top of it, and a mask just for good measure, and there is the output with the sign on top. But as soon as we get up to 340 something, it's going to start going on top. Now in this case I have now set up in the movie clip editor a mask, an animated mask, to do some rotoscoping. So I've just animated it just on that branch, and that will work fine because up until a certain point, and until we get to around about 425 somewhere around there, it starts to just get too crazy to do all this rotoscoping with various masks and things. So what I'm going to do is render out first off from the node editor, just render out from 1 right to 340, then rotoscope till I can, and then I'm just going to disconnect the masking. The mask is for the rotoscoping, and then just render out from that point onwards right to the end to 511 on this shot. So basically here we are in Gimp, and just to show you, we had first our original footage here, and we have from 0 to there just pasted on, and then we had some rotoscoping, and then we had the really difficult piece here. So I then rendered off all of that whole thing, and I put it in another folder called Z, and so we have up to here are all fixed and rotoscoped to here. So now we're going to work on this piece here, and we're going to do that just by File, opening as layers, go to that folder, there it is, and we're going to work, say, just grab in bunches of frames from 420 I think we'll go as a good example, through to 30, and open them, and it will open those into the layers, individual frames into each layer, and here they are. Let's get rid of that background one there. Here they are labeled, all in sequence, and the sign is pasted on top of the character. Next thing I want to do is go and get the original shots and put them on top. Now when Blender rendered out the frames, the original started at 0 I think, and Blender rendered them out starting from 1, so they're offset by 1 frame. So I want frames 19 through to 29 I think it is. So File, open as layers, go back up and go find it, 420, so 419 through to 429. Open them. And there they are put in here. Now I want to organize those so that the 29 is over the 30, 28 is over 29 and all that, but my capture program won't allow me to do that at the same time, so I'll just take a quick pause here, rearrange them, and I'll get back to you. So there we have it rearranged with the number 29 onto 30, so that there's the old one and there's no change in the background. It's the same frame, just offset one. Now we want to take this original one here and take the character and paste him on top of the new one, on top of the sign. So we're going to go across to this little square down here on the edge of the frame, and it gives us a red mask. If I select the eraser, if it's black, it's going to wipe out parts of the mask, and if it's white, it's going to draw it back on. You can use other ones like the draw pencil and the spray nozzle and all those if you need feathering or anything. So I'm now going to make a hole, but I want to work inversely so that it's a little easier for me, I think, if we zoom in a bit more, to actually see the model and then paint over it rather than cut out. So we go out of it and up to the select, then invert. That's Control I as a shortcut, and you'll see here that it has got a mask, and if we go back into the mask, you'll see it's red, so that I can now draw on top of, with that eraser, my figure. Back around the other way, and there I can draw on top of where my figure is going to be. Now this, in my opinion, is a little bit quicker and less mental work than shifting lots and lots of points when it gets complicated like this. Sometimes rotoscoping is way quicker and way more efficient, and sometimes you have no alternative to save time but to do something like this. And I can turn that off and see that red is going to be my mask on top of my sign, so I can go out of that, and there it is, and then selecting the top one, do delete, and that should get rid of the entire top picture except for what's left behind. Now, if I want to darken those up, I will have to invert my selection and then go to burn or dodge, and burn will now darken up those sticks to actually look a bit better because they were slightly different in the original, and then click. And there we have our frame with the character on top of there. Now we want to click on the top one there, right click and merge it down, and now it is one picture with the name of the one that was on the bottom, and that's the ones that we're going to save back to. But I'm also going to go double click and then select that and get rid of the PNG name and enter, just to show me that I've done it. Then march through all of those, and then to export it, this is where a lovely little script comes in. We'll get onto that shortly, but now we'll just go through laboriously doing all of that. As I say, sometimes it's quicker to do it this way than complicated rotoscoping, and sometimes it's not. Okay, so there we are, finished with our 10 frames, and you can do as many as you like. Each one of those has now got its fixing ups. Right, and let's make them all visible. Now comes the time-saving bit, is that over here in my file menu I now have one that's an entry that says save all layers. This will save all of the layers out to a PNG sequence. If you untick that, you can now specify back to wherever you have kept your one's your image sequence here, and open that folder, and it will take the name here and add PNG to that sequence, and you can tick that to save only the visible layers, which is all of these, and it will save them back to the files that you have rendered with the adjustments. Now, to get that script, what you want to do is copy this, do a search sg/save-all-layers.scm, which is a script. Go to your internet, put that in there, and here you will find it is actually, there's a few places you can find it. Here's one, save all layers, here it is, and it is basically just a script, and you want to copy that entire piece of code. Control copy the entire thing, control copy, and then open up your text editor and just paste that into there. And I'm going to put it back down to something a bit smaller so you can select the whole entire thing. And there is the text. Now you're going to save it as a text document, but you're going to save it with exactly the same name of what we had there, and call it, save it as a text file with the same name, and you're going to save it in the scripts folder, which is going to take some navigating to browse all folders, and we want to go to wherever your Gimp folder is on whichever system you've got, whether you're Mac, Linux, or Windows. In Windows it's going to be in C, Program Files, and it will be down in Gimp 2 I'm using, and you want to go to the Share folder, then to Gimp 2.0, and then down in the Scripts folder here is where you want to save that, and save it. And I already have one there, so I'll go yes, and it's now saved there. Now with Gimp you're going to open that up again, and you've got to close it and then open it again, and it should find that script and come up with this here. So now I'm going to go, as I say, my location is going to be in the original folder where I got those from. I don't have the PNG sequence suffix, so it will put it on for me, and my visible layers go OK, and now it will go through and save each one of those back to the original file that it was taken from, and that will fix up that sequence. So you can bring that sequence into your image, into your video editor, and edit it into your project.